They sick of this Unapologetically Angel podcast. Now, the numbers from the podcast shows that fans are sick of it. Once again, I can't make this up. I'm showing y'all right now. She might need to get Casanat to come on.
I was honestly taken aback when I saw the view count on Angel Reese's latest podcast episodes. Some of them barely managed to hit 70 views, which is a staggering drop for someone who was once a household name in women's sports. One episode featuring Jada Cheeves and Des Dior could only muster up 66 views. No, that's not a mistake. The content itself was a surprising shift from sports, spending an entire hour discussing dating wealthy men. Needless to say, Angel's loyal basketball fans were left confused, wondering if they'd clicked on the wrong podcast by mistake.
Angel Reese's latest podcast decision has left her listeners disappointed, primarily due to her choice of guest. Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, who cares about these people? Honestly.
What initially seemed like a small drop in viewership quickly spiraled into a full-blown disaster when Angel Reese responded to critics by bluntly telling them to shut the FK up. It wasn't just tone deaf, it added fuel to an already burning fire. Fans who were already let down by the content now began questioning her character. The issue shifted from being about the content itself to a matter of trust. Almost immediately, comparisons to Caitlin Clark's disciplined and highly successful offseason started to surface, drawing an even sharper contrast between the two.
Hosting fellow athletes like Dejanay Carrington, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and basketball legend Lisa Leslie, to musicians like Sexy Red, Glorilla, and more, the Sky Forward received positive feedback from listeners and viewers. However, the most recent episode received mixed.
Angel's decision to bring on Jada Cheeves and Des Dior, two influencers more recognized for Instagram fame and celebrity drama than anything sports-related, marked a sharp departure from what her audience had come to expect. Her podcast had originally gained a following for its insightful basketball discussions and engaging conversations with fellow athletes. But instead of that, this episode felt more like an extended reality TV audition, with non-stop chatter about dating standards and zero focus on the sport. Fans who tuned in for basketball talk were instead treated to an unexpected lecture on luxury dating preferences.
Reality stars Jada Cheeves and Des Doria? I don't know. I don't even care. Who discussed their experiences on season 1 of BET's The Impact Atlanta, as well as their candid views on online criticism, dating, and career.
It wasn't just boring. It felt like a classic bait and switch. This wasn't the gritty, passionate Angel Reese fans had followed during her LSU days. Instead, it was a version of her more focused on chasing clout than building a meaningful platform. Comments flooded in. "I feel like she's forgetting why we started supporting her," one follower wrote. Another added, "This isn't it. I came for basketball, not love and hip-hop." The damage was significant, and the fans weren't hesitant to walk away.
Issue regarding relationships. As for Reese, she mentioned men's insecurities when it comes to women earning a higher income than their partners. Is that still a thing? That still bothers people? Okay. Quote, "A lot of men don't also like women." My God, the grammar. What the bleep? A lot of men don't also like women that got their own. My God, folks. You read quotes from her, your IQ points just melt away.
This podcast misstep highlighted just how disconnected Angel Reese had become from her core audience. She seemed to assume her fans would easily embrace the shift, but they didn't. What they saw was a player more focused on influencer culture than on her roots as a trailblazing hooper. The sense of betrayal was undeniable. Fans felt like they were watching one of their favorites turn her back on the game that made her famous.
In the interview, fans expressed their dismay over the responses they gave about money and relationships, feeling it overshadowed other important topics. Quote, "They said a lot of nothing." The responses are dumb.
And the numbers were brutal. We're talking about a podcast that once had the full backing of Shaquille O'Neal's major podcast network, high-quality production, A-list guests, and serious reach. Yet, that same show is now struggling to reach even 70 views on some episodes. And the worst part, this wasn't a one-off. It was a trend. The buzz that once surrounded Angel's podcast had been replaced with awkward silence, and a lot of unsubscribes.
Another person added, quote, "This is like the one podcast where 3 kids judge food they haven't eaten, laugh out loud." The same goes for a commenter who said, "Losing brain cells listening to this podcast." I just said IQ points were literally melting away from my brain pan as we...
In an era dominated by viral content and fleeting attention spans, falling off is one thing, but watching your own fan base, your diehard basketball supporters, completely check out is a whole different ballgame. People who once cheered for every move she made were now flooding her comment section, asking what happened to the player they once admired. The disconnect was palpable, and it hit harder than any dip in views could.
Angel, all these women out here doing phenomenal things, but you choose rappers' girlfriends to interview just really throws me. That's a hell of a good comment.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues her meteoric rise, dropping clips that rack up millions of views and packing arenas wherever she goes. The contrast is almost painful to watch. Angel Reese was supposed to be right there alongside her, an ambassador for women's basketball, a symbol of its new era. Instead, she's left explaining why barely anyone is tuning in anymore. The fall wasn't sudden. It was a slow erosion of trust, culminating in a tone-deaf episode that will likely be studied for years as a textbook example of how not to pivot your brand. Once your fans feel ignored, it doesn't take long for them to disappear. And for Angel Reese, the silence says it all.
To pull up her podcast, man, because y'all might think I'm lying. I am not lying. This is not clickbait at all, guys. So as we pull up the Unapologetically Angel podcast, I mean, hell, she just released the episode 10 minutes ago. It got 66 views. This one right here got 780.
Angel Reese's podcast has officially hit rock bottom. Incredibly, her show couldn't even crack 5,000 views in an entire week. Yes, that's not a typo. We're talking about a high-profile WNBA star with massive media attention, major brand deals, and a built-in fan base from her college career. And yet, her own audience couldn't be bothered to hit play. That's not just a slump, it's a full-blown collapse.
I ain't feeling them, bruh. I mean, damn. I mean, Angel Reese haven't got over 5,000 views in over a week, dog.
What makes it even worse is how quickly it all unraveled. This wasn't a slow fade or gradual disinterest. It was a full-on nosedive. Her analytics looked like a blocked shot that never left the paint. One moment, she had a consistent, if modest, base of loyal listeners, and then, almost overnight, it all vanished. The timing wasn't subtle either. The moment she released that now infamous episode, packed with tone-deaf commentary and reality TV fluff, the bottom completely dropped out.
Seemed like everything went downhill after this interview, bruh. I can't even lie, but it's looking like it's been going downhill since before this damn interview. I can't even lie to you. It's looking like Kennedy Carter DJ Carrington might be her biggest.
The fallout was immediate and brutal. Analysts estimate her viewership plummeted by over 90% practically overnight, an almost unheard of drop. Imagine spending months building a platform, strategizing, booking guests, promoting your brand, only to watch nearly the entire audience walk away in a matter of days. It wasn't just apathy. Fans were unsubscribing, unfollowing, and publicly distancing themselves from her. The message was loud and clear. They felt betrayed.
You going in terms of breaking it up, but damn, dog, it ain't looking good for Angel, bruh. Now, I just wanted to show y'all the numbers to show y'all I wasn't clickbaiting or picking on Angel.
Even with the backing of Shaquille O'Neal's major podcast network, slick editing, and premium production value, it wasn't enough to save the show. All the resources in the world can't fix a creator's disconnect from their core audience. And that's what this really boils down to. Angel misunderstood what her fans wanted, and once that trust was lost, no amount of polish could make up for it.
She's had a lot of like rappers and these what I call D-list celebrities, which is the reality TV show. That's a D-list celebrity. They're not an actual celebrity, really and truly. It's not like they won American Idol, right?
These numbers don't lie. They scream that her audience didn't sign up for pop culture gossip, glamorized dating rants, or celebrity guest appearances with nothing meaningful to say. They wanted basketball. They wanted behind-the-scenes insights. They wanted the authentic Angel Reese, the one who earned their respect on the court. What they got instead felt like a complete betrayal of that identity.
Social media user left a harsh comment, wrote the least informative podcast on earth. Yikes.